Welcome to Morningstar. Today I talk to equity analyst Tancrede Fulop about Orsted, the Danish offshore wind power company. Welcome Tancrede. Today we talk about Orsted, a leading company in offshore wind power. Can you tell us how the company managed to get that leading position in its market?
Sure, Robert. They were the first mover in the market. They pioneered the offshore wind market in 2002. So that's why they built a strong position. Now they are the global leader. They have a 30% market share, which is almost twice as much as the second player. And they are very well positioned to tap the global growth of the offshore wind market because they have a strong balance sheet. They had a net cash position at the end of 2017, so that enables them to fund their big investment program of 200 billion of Danish krona by 2025, which will enable them to triple the amount of offshore wind capacity.
This offshore wind business is characterized by subsidies. A lot of the results drive on those subsidies. Can you explain how that system works?
Yeah, this is a key advantage of this business and of Orsted. To incentivize the creation of offshore wind farms, the countries granted the operator of these offshore wind farms very high subsidies because the cost of these wind farms are initially quite high. So that gives to Orsted a very high visibility and predictability of its earnings. The average remaining lifetime of these subsidies of Orsted is 15 years. So this is a key intangible asset, and that underpins the narrow moat that we grant to Orsted, and that also underpins the low uncertainty rating that we grant to Orsted. And so the average through 2027, the average amount of these subsidies per megawatt hour is around 130 euros per megawatt hour on our calculations, which is well above the current market power price in Europe of 50 euros per megawatt hour.
The cost levels in this industry are coming down because of new technical developments. There is more efficiency because of bigger windmills which produce more power. Can you give some numbers about the costs coming down?
Yes, sure. As you mentioned, the size of the offshore wind turbine are increasing, and this is a key driver of the decline in operating cost and in capex. So at the end of 2017, the average size of turbines of Orsted, of the installed capacity, was 4 megawatts, and now for the new parks they use turbines of 8 megawatts. And the decline in operating costs between those two turbines is 1/3. And it is the same for capex. You have over the last 2 years, project capex per megawatt have decreased by 35% per megawatt for Orsted. So that kind of offsets the decline in subsidies.
Those are very impressive numbers, and investors will be interested in that. Also, investors are always interested in the projections for future profit growth. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. So through 2027, I forecast an EBITDA growth of 11% and underlying net profit growth of 30%, the highest in my coverage among other European utilities. The key growth driver will be the commissioning of new offshore wind farm capacity. I expect roughly 8 gigawatts of incremental capacity between the end of 2018 and 2025, so the capacity will treble. And also, given the decline in OPEX and CAPEX, I expect an IRR of around 9% for these new projects, which will be very value accretive.
And to conclude, what is your fair value estimate on this stock, and what is the upside potential that you see?
My fair value estimate is 450 Danish krona per share. And now the share price have gone up quite significantly recently, so I have not much upside anymore. So I would recommend to investors to benefit from any pullback to get a good entry point.
Okay, Tancrede, thank you very much for this interview.
Thank you, Robert.